Hey, I am coming back. Sorry, I got my glasses on. It's like very glary. Um, that helps a little bit. Okay, so I'm coming back with Stormy. Come here, Storm. Anytime I talk, he's like on it. So I was pondering, went through a couple of my old journals and was thinking about things to do with sex and celibacy. And I was kind of going back in my journals and I kind of wanted to not draw a timeline per se, but kind of go through my history of my experiences with such matters. So I want to talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Anyways, I'm being stupid. So I couldn't find a particular part in my journals where when I first went celibate, but I remember there was one where I did list out some rules. I'm kind of jumping ahead though. So, and I know this is like nobody's business, but you know, people go through it and everybody's experiences are different, but yet still the same, it seems. So I'm just gonna start from beginning. Not even sure if I'm gonna post this or not, but cover your ears, Stormy. Earmuffs. So but I'm feeling moved to just like get out anything that I feel like has kind of burdened me, stressed me, upset me, kind of burn it, release it, you know. So we'll see. I might post this on my YouTube. I probably will. Anyway, I going back to my initial experience with sex. I always had like guys show interest in me even when I was very young, but I never acted on anything. I was too nervous. I was very shy. I was kind of overprotected at home in that way. I had a lot of brothers, big sister that was warning me against it and everything. And I thought I was a late bloomer in that area, but I did end up having my first experience when I was 16. Looking back at it now, oh, it wasn't that, not that late, but a lot of my friends at that age and stuff were already experienced in that area. And I almost want to just take my glasses off. Yeah. Sorry, my makeup's probably running off. So I can't see right now very well, but that glare was really bothering me. I don't need to see though. I'm not going to get into any names or any like specifics on anything, but I'm just going to do a rundown and kind of explain why I kind of am the way I am now, and through that journey of, you know, making connections with other guys, with guys and stuff. I keep wanting to jump ahead, but a lot of what had been expressed to me and things like that had reoccurred and kind of ran through my years, but even to this day. And I'm 41. So I was 16, lost my virginity to a friend. And then when word got out that had happened, it seemed like the floodgates had opened. I was never like extremely hyper sexually active, but it wasn't long until after that I did have more encounters with guys that I knew, guys that I met. it did get, I'm trying to figure out how deep I want to get into this. It did get risky. I did become active with guys that I didn't know anything about, not even like mutual friends. I did meet guys off the internet when I was fairly young. And this was like before like it was what it is now. This was like 2000, 2001, stuff like that. It got a little risky. I was definitely putting myself in physically putting myself in risky situations with strange men. I did make a video before about one where I wasn't technically of consenting age, and I did have a fairly traumatic experience with a man when I didn't realize, like, he was a lot older than me, and I didn't realize until just a few years ago that was not okay and illegal, and I experienced some things with him that was not pleasant. I'm not going to get into that experience again, but it was something that I kind of buried, and it left me fearful for a long time that, like, I caught something from him. I don't remember if he was like the last one I messed with before I went away for school. So I left my hometown shortly, like a year after graduation. Graduation was 2001. And by then, I was kind of not interested in meeting any new hookups or anything like that. I started to notice that if I kept up on it, that my, well, they call it body count now. They didn't call it that back then. My notches was adding up quite fast. It still wasn't in like the teens or anything. It was like 9 or 10. I don't know, but still, I was fairly young and it was adding up fast, and I did not like that idea. So I decided to get away, move to a different town, and apply for college. And during that summer break, before I left, actually, back then when you graduated high school, I think, I can't remember the age. I think it was 18 maybe. And I was not turning 18 until that summer, after graduation. So I don't remember exactly the timeline, but I wasn't 18 yet. So I was about to be off my dad's insurance, and I went ahead to our family doctor and had her run all kinds of tests and everything. I had not told her I was sexually active. So she did not run any other, like, ST, now they call them I's, but back then it was STDs, testing or anything like that. So she did take care of everything else. I was fine when I left. So I moved away and I stayed with family for that summer before I started school in the fall of 2002. And even in that summer, I had an experience with a guy. And by then I was like, I'm not trying to have sex. It was not like at all on my list of things to do. But I was found myself in a pool with a guy, and he was trying to make moves, and in that situation, it definitely would have been unprotected. And either way, I really wasn't trying to do it anyways. I mean, even though I was like, so, like, he was really cute, drove a cool car, and, you know, had a cool situation and all that. But I remember while he was trying to make his moves, I out of the blue came up with some rules, and I was like, nope, I've got rules. Before I have sex, I'm not. And I can't remember what they are. And that's what I was trying to find in my journal, and I couldn't find it because I know I wrote them down. There's like 10 of them. I don't know. But I remember the main thing was I am not having sex with any man until I have been dating him or knowing him for a year and officially in a committed relationship with him. So, excuse me, my allergies. So I made up the rules on the fly, but I did hold up to him for a long time. I started school. I declined all kinds of offers. I fooled around a little bit and I made out with guys, but I did not engage in the thing. I'm so immature. So I kept it moving. I did take 5 years to get my bachelor's. So I was in school for 5 years. I and part of that was because I've never been a big fan of being a student, but I mean, I took it seriously and all that, but I did drag it out and I did have to retake a couple courses and stuff. I was also really scared to like go out into the real world. Because the whole time I was in college, I was living on campus. And I knew after that I would have to go get a place and things like that. So the last year of those 5 years, I did meet who's now my ex-husband, but I met him and we were friends for about a year. And then he asked me out to be his girlfriend. And this was shortly before I needed to move out for school. So we did. I agreed. And we ended up, right before we graduated, I graduated. We ended up getting a place together, an apartment. So I stayed in the town where I went to school instead of going back home. And before that, even before we even got our place together, I did, and we were in a committed relationship. I did break that 5 years of celibacy with him. Then we went on. It's so funny because even during the celibacy, before and after, I've had so many guys like ask me, "Are you a virgin? Are you scared? Why are you scared of sex?" It's like, and it's not that I'm like scared of it. I mean, in a way, yeah. I just don't want to end up pregnant, catch something, catch feelings, and then just be used and thrown away, I take it very seriously, and I always have, even when I was experimenting more with it. But also those experiments had risks and that I wasn't even aware of. So I'm, in this relationship with my ex-husband. He was my boyfriend at the time. We were having sex and everything. We were living in a place, and, it was living in sin for sure, but it wasn't like anything too toxic, We were together about a year, maybe, I don't know. And then I was working at my first like real job, and I got insurance and stuff. So mind you, that whole time I didn't have insurance. I did not like go for annual physicals or anything. So I had seen a doctor because I did have like a UTI early on in those years. I probably had a couple in that time, and I didn't realize like the importance of, getting yearlies and things like that. I have a mom and older sister, but I was really on my own, and nobody talked to me about those woman things that you really should be maintaining and things like that. And so I got my insurance with the company I was working for, and so I started to go back to seeing a doctor annually. After one of those first visits, they ran all my blood work and all that. turned out I did have an infection. I I don't think I got it from my ex-husband, boyfriend at the time. Because I'm thinking I had it with me the whole time. And luckily it was an easy treat, an antibiotic, whatever. And he did have to take it too, just in case. But I didn't think it was with him because I didn't really have symptoms. I can't remember which kind it's called. And it's not even technically, I could have gotten it other than through sex. But I kind of remember what it's called. It starts with a T. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But anyways, I do think it was a good chance that I got it from one of the men I was involved with prior to moving away for college. And looking back at it, I think I had it the whole time. And there wasn't really any major symptoms, but near the end of the time, I did notice there was like urine, and I did get, a couple urinary tract infections. I don't know if that was a result of it, but yeah, there was, I thought that it was just like normal woman issues, like pH balances and stuff. Looking back now as a grown woman, I should have been getting checked, especially after I was sexually active. But I was, a teenager, and I was scared to tell my family doctor, which I didn't know that she couldn't tell my dad those things or anything. But still, I didn't do what I should have did. And I think this is also like a public service announcement, just saying, don't be ashamed. I'm almost like, is that a sign I shouldn't be saying any of this? I overthink everything. So anyways, continue on. Okay, so got my insurance, found out I had, got my physical and all that, found out I had, something going on. And it took me a long time as an adult and stuff to be like, oh, so that's why I wasn't always feeling so great in the women areas. But anyways, moved past that. That's definitely in the past. However many years ago, like that would have been 2008-ish at the latest, maybe 2007. I don't know. So that got sorted out. And during that whole time, I was still with my boyfriend. We ended up staying together from 2007 to 2000. 2019, and divorced in 2020 was when our divorce was official. So there was no other issues with anything about worrying about sex and like multiple partners or anything like that. And at that point, my body count still wasn't outrageous for anybody my age, but we did divorce, and I decided to return to celibacy again, return back to being very, I've never been really prudent, but I definitely have been cautious. And I think I went a couple years. Yeah, it was a couple years after our separation. So like we separated in the end of 2018. So I went a couple years after that. I messed around with some guys. I did start dating. Messed around with a couple guys. Just kissing for the most part. I don't know why I'm getting the details, but yeah, I messed around with some guys. I did end up breaking my celibacy around that time. And then I went through quite a bit of stuff in 2021 at the end of it with my mental health and safety and just whatnot. So it is now 2024 and I have re-entered the celibacy phase. I've had so many men still try to engage in sexual activities with me. I haven't done much more than make out with a couple, but even then, I have no intention on, and I don't even know when, and I don't even necessarily, I guess I could go back to those rules I made before I met my ex-husband. And I probably am kind of sticking to that, but I definitely don't want to engage in any sexual activity again until I am in a committed relationship at the least. I don't want any hookups. I don't want any, which I've never really had any like one night stands. Like even the guys I've like met and stuff like, and you know, that were strangers and, you know, then we like, I still would like, it wasn't ever, I never had a one night stand. I mean, there's only one guy I only had one time with. But anyways, why am I getting into these details? But that wasn't a one night stand because we're still friends. But anyways, I have a lot of guys give me shit though for not engaging in to that activity with them. To this day, I've always put up with it. And I almost, now it is to the point where, for me now, it is where it's, I am protecting myself. I don't want to get knocked up. I don't want to have get any diseases. Like, and honestly, back then, during those 5 years where I probably had something, there were so many men that tried to engage in sexual intercourse with me. And little did they know that I had something. And I didn't even know I had something. So it's like they actually dodged a bullet with that one. I mean, it wasn't a life-threatening bullet or a lifelong bullet. But still, it's like they don't know that. And I didn't know that. I didn't know if I had I could have had something way worse. I probably would have had symptoms, but still. That's the thing. It's like they got mad at me and I actually did them a favor. You know, I protected them from my cooties. Stop it. I don't know if I'm going to share this video or not, but there was a lot more that I was going to be a lot deeper with in this video. And I'm not going to keep rambling on because honestly, it is my personal business and everything like that. But I really did just want to express it because it is a reoccurring issue. Not really an issue for me, but it does kind of hurt my feelings when guys are only interested in, you know, just doing the deed. And, you know, and I'm not young anymore. I do want to be able to have kids and have a family of my own. I'm really not trying to jeopardize that by making any mistakes with somebody that, you know, could give me something that I can't get rid of, that could hurt me, that could end me, that could just even, you know, give me a child and not being there. I try not to stress over it, and it does hurt my feelings when guys like try to convince me or get mad at me because I don't, or stop hanging out with me or don't even want to be my friend. It's like, because of that. And it's crazy because even the guys that like I do have engaged with and everything, they I don't want to talk about that exactly, but it never ends well. It never ends well. Even with my ex-husband. didn't end well. So I'm saving myself for one, the green light from God to tell me that's who is meant for me. I'm saving myself for who's meant for me. And honestly, I hate to say it, that like I'm willing to go the rest of my life without ever having that, if it feels like that is what I'm supposed to do. So celibacy, here we go. Oh, I do remember what I also want to talk to you about celibacy, because I got it that like I get like a lot of the like obvious reasons why it's a benefit to do, but I really didn't get an understanding of like the spiritual and the physical, the mental clearing that can occur from celibacy. So right now I'm almost 4 years in on being celibate again. And I've started to notice that it does really clear my mind. And in a way, I feel like it's clearing the energies that are exchanged with all those previous partners that I don't want to be attached to anymore. You know, like what do they call them? STDs, sexually transmitted demons. God, I'm going through an exorcism around here. So yeah. And it's hard to explain to people about that, but that is like the biggest benefit that I have had from it. And I really encourage people to just wait, and not about making promises to God or yourself. And actually in the Bible it says, I think it was Jesus in the red letter said something along the lines of not to make promises or swearing to do things, that your word should be good enough as it is. You shouldn't have to double down on anything. Your word should be your bond. You shouldn't have to put a seal or a label of, anything on it. So I forgot why I got to that point, but that's the thing, is that I'm just holding out. And I would like to be back in the game, but not with a bunch of players. So I just want to find the man I'm meant to be with, and that we are committed to each other. And I don't want to worry about him bringing something into it or me bringing something into it. And if we do get, if I do get pregnant by this man, I would hope it would be after marriage. And I do hope that he would be strong enough to get me through it. And I'd be strong enough to do a good job at going through labor, carrying a child, being a mama. So, but I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know when I'm going to do it again. And I don't know with who. But I just want a lot of these guys to realize that I'm not declining most of them because I'm not attracted to them, or that they're not sexually attractive, or, a lot of times it's like hard for me to decline it. I'm a grown woman. I have my desires and wants and stuff like that too. And it is medically sex routinely, it can be healthy, and a release for a lot of things. So yeah, I'm not trying to be just some prude, stuck up broad or anything. I am just trying to be protective of what I am and who I am and who I'm with. And as far as I know, until it's obvious and evident and certain, I am private property. And that includes my body, my mind, my soul. I'm God's, and he has not handed me over to any other man yet. So I do want to continue to keep my celibacy and enjoy the benefits of it. And because even though it gets frustrating every now and then and I get tempted, it's still so worth the wait. And I encourage anybody and everybody that are single and not in a committed relationship to honor that space on your own. Clear out those energies that are lingering in you. Protect yourself from, because from what I've heard, STIs are like rampant, right? That's another thing that like makes it a little bit easier, because I don't know who has what. They didn't know what I had. So it's just a matter of respecting each other and yourself. And sure, mess around, fall in love, fool around. But, really, you can't go wrong if you do it out of love. So, I mean, this toxic situation bullshit, that stuff is played out and it needs to go. Game over for the game playing and all the players and pimps and the little kittens. That's why there's so many cats out there, so many stray cats, because they're not neutered and spayed. But still, I know you guys be hoeing, so stop being a hoe. But anyway, Stormy's fixed. He's okay. He never gonna have any babies. I'm sorry, Stormy, no babies for you. But yeah, I think that's good enough. A half-hour video. Somebody's outside. So that's it. I should be embarrassed to talk about this. Maybe I just ruined myself for any man to ever want me because of my gross past. But honestly, I'm sure they got a lot worse past than I do. But yeah, it's not worth the risks, really not. And the benefits that come with celibacy are so rewarding. So if I have to risk not ever like attracting another man because I'm honest about my past, then dodged bullets. God. Love you guys. Tell me, Stormy. Okay.